Okay, here we go. Um, Here we go. Let me. Oops. What am I doing? Okay, here we go. Oh, you know what? I need to type in the Instagram chat. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Hey, hey, Facebook user. We are getting started. I got my notes here. And I'm on live on Instagram too. So I just want to type the topic. Okay, a man doesn't have to lie to you just to be with you. If he likes you enough, or just to be with you. If you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. If you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. Okay. What's up, Indy? As you're watching, does that resonate with you? Because that's the topic today, and we're going to talk about how to stop that. I'm just making sure I spelled everything right and collecting people as they come in, come in, come in, come in. A man doesn't have to lie to you just to be with you. If you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. That is the one. Okay, and we're going to talk about how to stop that. Let me pin the comment. And then also let me log out of Facebook because, whoops, sorry, Instagram, I killed you. And then let me log out of Facebook. We are just getting started. So come in, come in, come in. That's the topic for today. I got to log out of Facebook because all these dang on, hold on. I got to turn off my notifications and we will get into it. Mindy, thank you for your honesty. Okay. And then let's do this. A man doesn't have to lie to you to be with you. If you like him enough, you will lie to yourself. Is that resonating with anybody? You can just type yes in the chat as I'm just getting prepared here. And we're just waiting a few minutes. You know how it takes people. They see it live and they're like, oh, yeah, that's the masterclass I wanted to attend. So we're just waiting for that. Oh, let me do this. Okay, so a man doesn't have to lie. Doesn't have to lie to you to be with you. If you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. So this is what we're going to do here. Actually, let me edit that, save, do this, come in, come in, come in. There we go. There we go. A man doesn't have to lie to you just to be with you. If you like him enough, you will lie to yourself. So that's today's topic. So we are ready to go. All right. Hi. We're going to talk about that today and also how you can stop that cycle of dysfunction because that doesn't feel good, right? Passing up those red flags. So hi, welcome, welcome. My name is Rika, and this episode is for the women who feel like, man, I have it all together, like my career, my finances. I can take care of myself, but somehow I keep getting into this cycle of dysfunction, either with the same guy or a different guy, but it's the same kind of dysfunctional relationship, okay? In fact, when I speak of having a cycle of dysfunctional relationships, are you thinking of one man? Or maybe it was like two or three, so you could just say a few. Could you type that in the comments? One man, you could type one or a few. So when I'm talking about this cycle of dysfunctional relationships with men, are you thinking of the same guy? It's just one guy you keep letting back in? Or are you like, okay, well, to be honest, Rika, it was like two or three, okay? I just want to know. I just want to see your comments because I want to make sure today is resonating with you, okay? So again, on this episode, on this masterclass, the key strategies to dodging a dysfunctional relationship, this is part 2. We did part 1 yesterday. And today, it is all about the woman who is like, yo, I have it together, but for some reason, this area of men in this area of relationships, I can't get it together. And you feel like you're trying to set boundaries, right? You've said that to yourself, but old habits are hard to break for you. Like you've written off guys before. I'm never doing this again. I'm never, never, never. And then 2 months later, 6 months later, you find yourself in the same type of dysfunction. Is that you? Is that resonating? You can type yes in the comments. You can go ahead and type yes in the comments, okay? And I believe that I'm on a bit of a delay, but of course I will try to pause and look at your comments and go from there. So, okay, on Facebook, am I glitchy? Because I see Mindy is saying I'm glitchy, so I don't know if that's your internet or my internet. But if somebody else says I'm glitchy, maybe it's my internet, and honestly, there's nothing I can do about that, you know? But so let me know am I glitchy on your end? I'm live here on Instagram and live on Facebook. Let me know if it's glitchy. Hey, Auntie, dang it, it is, huh? I don't know what to do about that. So we just gonna have to keep rolling, right? We just gonna have to keep rolling. But can you hear me? You can hear me, right? Look, I got my green juice I'm drinking. It is too choppy. Okay. I am not really sure about what to do about that. So, about the internet, because it says I'm connected, and this is the world we live in, right? On Instagram, of course, it says I'm not. So maybe it's because I'm live on both. And I guess I need to call my internet provider and be like, why am I live on 2 devices and it's glitchy? Okay. All right. So anyway, let's go into that. So we'll just continue the conversation. Okay. So let me just pick up where I left off. Okay. So you're that woman who is in this cycle of dysfunctional relationships, and this comment resonates with you. A man doesn't have to lie to you to be with you. If you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. Okay. So I want to talk to the woman inside you who is screaming, I'm a good woman and I deserve the desires of my heart. You're screaming that. You know that. In fact, you know what you want, but you just don't know how to get it. Is that resonating? You know what you want, because of course, if I asked you what type of relationship do you want, you would say, oh, I want a healthy relationship. I want it to be happy, full of love, honesty, no manipulation. I can't say that word, but you don't know how to get that, right? So today I'll give you some tools on how to achieve that outcome, okay? So I want you to type yes in the chat if this is resonating, and I just want to make sure that you can still hear me, okay? And I want you to know that you're in the right place. That's why I asked you all these questions, because I like to have I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself. I want to make sure that you're here and you're like, this is resonating with me. So if I say something that's like, please type that in the chat. If I drop a gem for you, please type that in the chat, okay? All right, so you're in the right place. And so I wanted to let you know that this comment actually came up because I was talking to one of my clients inside of Single You Academy, which is my group coaching program. Oh, which, by the way, if you're new here, hi, I'm Rika. I don't know if I said that. I'm a certified NLP life coach, okay? And what is Single You Academy? Single You Academy is actually my online intensive 16-week inner work program, group program, focused on growth for the professional single mom in her 30s and 40s who wants to stop that cycle of dysfunctional relationships with men. Or maybe it's that one guy, your baby daddy, that you keep letting in and you can't break hold of this. And you want to be able to set these clear boundaries without the overwhelm of feeling mean for saying no. So my clients are women who are ready to discover their worth, and you're ready to learn how to set those clear boundaries. So anyway, I was talking about this quote with one of my clients inside of Single You Academy. A man doesn't have to lie to you to be with you. If you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. She was like, man, why do we do that? And so that's what I wanted to present to you today. So today we're going to talk about why this is happening and how to stop that from happening. Okay. So what do I mean, right? The gag is the men that you are dating, that you are saying you're in the cycle of dysfunctional relationships with, they are lying to you. through behavior, not so much words. You just pass up the red flags because you like him. So what am I saying? Men don't have to say things to us like, baby, I'll never lie to you. I'll never cheat on you. I'm not a manipulator or a narcissist. I'm just a good guy who loves you. Knowing full well in the back of his mind, he's knowing that he is all of the above. And he's been that to his previous girlfriends. He doesn't have to say that. He actually shows you that through his behavior. But here's the problem. There is no Yelp review for men, right? Like you can't go to Yelp and be like, I want to see what Jonathan Smith is like. And then it's like all his ex-girlfriends. Wouldn't that be nice? Somebody needs to create that, right? There's no Yelp review for men. And we're bad at being a lie detector because most of the time we'll never find out he's lying. How many of you, raise your hand, you could say me or yes in the comments, need that tangible fact? You feel bad if you feel something because you don't actually have a fact, a tangible fact behind it. And I'm gonna pause here for dramatic effect because I want to see if you feel that way. Because that's your red flag. You're like, oh, I don't know if this is okay, but I don't really have a tangible fact. He's never shown me, so let me just be quiet. Yep. I hit your nail on the head, didn't I? Yeah, stop needing that. Stop needing that tangible evidence that he is doing something wrong or something that you wouldn't want. And I'm not here to judge a man's character. I am just here to hold you accountable to the things that you say that you want. Because the reality is we have our God voice. And today I'm going to encourage you to lean into that. That God voice is the one telling you this is a red flag. And a red flag doesn't mean, oh, he's a murderer or what have you. It just means he's not for you. But you bypass that because you feel bad. Well, I don't have tangible facts, so I'm going to just date him anyway. Even though inside your soul is like, but you don't listen to that. So stop needing that fact. And I'm going to encourage you to lean into that God fact, that God voice. Excuse me. Yeah, that God voice. Okay. So on an episode of Fill in the Blanks by Dr. Phil, of course, you know who Dr. Phil is, right? He talks about how men lie 8 times more about themselves than women do. Women actually lie to protect ourselves. So when I say a man doesn't have to lie to you to be with you, if you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. Why are you lying? Are you lying because you don't want to be alone? Are you lying to yourself because you don't want the confrontation? Meaning you don't want to bring up something that you feel like, oh, I felt like he does like this woman. Because how many of you have had suspicions about a man cheating? But then you just didn't bring it up. So you're lying to yourself because you're like, well, I don't have the tangible fact. So I'm not going to bring it up because I don't want this confrontation. And what if I'm wrong? My question is, what if you're right? And how many times have you been right, but you didn't find out 2 or 3 years later, and now you wasted all this time? All right, so let's get into some tangible stories. So 3 examples of behavior that a man shows you that means he's like a liar or not for you. Okay, so I was talking to my cousin, and he told me about a friend of a friend. Anyway, she's a female. Just know she's a girl. And she was dating this guy. And she's like, yo, I've been dating this guy for weeks now. And as she was telling him this story, my cousin, she was angry. She was like, man, I've been dating this dude for a few weeks now. And everything was good until I found out he had a kid. Man, I'm so pissed. I'm so annoyed. I'm so angry. And she wrote him off. Because, yeah, how are you dating somebody for a few weeks, even a day, and he doesn't tell you you have a kid or he has a kid? Excuse me, you should know you have a kid. I'm going to need you to know that. But yeah, raise your hand if you're like, yeah, people should tell you if they have kids immediately. That's a thing. Say that, right? So she's angry, upset. But guess what? A week later, my cousin was talking to her again, and she updated him on the situation. And she was like, well, He said that he didn't tell me because he knows how I feel about men with kids and I don't want to date men with kids. So I totally understand where he's coming from because I would be kind of embarrassed too. And yeah, whatever. And then she was asking him, my cousin, I mean, but do you think it's wrong for me to move forward? And she wanted to. Her defenses were down now. Oh, well, he apologized and he logically explained why he didn't tell me that he had a kid. So now I believe him. And so this is what's going to happen. She's going to stay with him, continue to date him, and he will continue to show her that he is a liar. He lied. You're a liar. And then you logically trying to explain, just because somebody can explain to you why they lied to you, doesn't mean that that's a good fit for you. Because what this is telling me, this story that this girl told my cousin, is that you don't want to date men with kids. But now you will because he apologized. And I'm sure he said all the wonderful things that we women love to hear. Girl, you so fine though. Like, I really see us going somewhere. Like, this is what's up. Like, my bad. I'm embarrassed. So then we feel bad for him. And then now we dating him. Be careful of the duty you feel that you owe to a man because you feel bad. Check that feeling and go with your original gut instinct, because Dr. Phil says this: the number one predictor of human behavior is past behavior. He lied. How do you lie about something that big? So what else will he lie about? But you think because, well, I caught him, he apologized, he means it, so let's move forward. If he's lying to you about one thing, he'll lie again. Stop assuming that the only lie you've caught him in is the only lie he's told you. Stop assuming that. Stop it. Stop overriding your gut feeling, your God voice, your soul telling you, that's not for you. Like, to me, I imagine God in heaven, like, daughter, let me handle my son. He's not for you, boo. Let me take care of him. Because the reality is, he lied to you, he apologized, and you think, okay, that's all I need. He's changing for me. He won't do it again because he loves me. Please. Can't nobody on this earth tell you that they'll never lie to you. But you have to decide what lies are too big for you. And you're like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with that. We're not doing that. I don't want to be that woman. That's a big lie. That's not like lying because I have a surprise party for you. And if he would lie about something that big, And you know how Maya Angelou, she says, when people show you who they are, believe them. That's what she means. Stop judging your feelings. Okay? And you stay because you want the story. You think, who does that? Like, people don't lie. Like, that's not a thing people do. No, people do. Okay, so here's another example. Here's a tangible example. I love stories. I love to give tangible facts, okay? So this is from one of my clients. Again, this is before we started working together. And she says, okay, so 3 months into my relationship and everything, it was good until now. Whenever we're not together, though, and I go out like with my friends, he demands that I check in. He wants me to let him know where I'm going. He's always accusing me of cheating. I feel like he's trying to control me. And he's way too jealous and so insecure because whatever reason, he's so insecure. Plus, whenever I say something to him, he stops me right away and shuts me down. And I hate that. So do you think it's time to walk away or wait to see if he changes? What do you think I'm gonna say? But here's the thing, we as women, when you're hearing these stories, you're always like, oh, I would never do that. Oh, that's right. Yep. Da. But you be in these same situations. And there is no judgment because I have been there. I literally gave up my Michael Kors purses because an ex gave them to me when I was with this boyfriend it was a toxic, dysfunctional relationship. And he told me, well, if you really love Michael Kors purses, but I did it because I thought I had to prove my love to him. So there is no judgment here. This comes from a place of wanting to pull that woman out of you that you say you are. Well, I got it together. I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. Oh my God, I love myself. I know my worth. Okay, but do you? Because if you are allowing yourself to be in these dysfunctional relationships, I would argue that you don't. You want to, but there's a difference between wanting and doing. And the doing is in the behavior that you exude. So when you let men lie to you about calling you back when they're supposed to, or when they say they are, kids controlling you about who you can and cannot hang out with, you're not that woman who loves herself then. You're not her. You want to be, but again, there's a difference between want and actually doing the behavior. You are your behavior, period. All of us. I can want to lose 30 pounds, but if I'm not doing the things that I need to do to lose 30 pounds, then I'm not the girl who loses 30 pounds. It's hard to swallow this pill, though. It is. I had to sit with myself and forgive the woman that I was in that toxic relationship, because I wasn't the woman I thought I was. And I was like, Rika, what are we doing? And let me tell you something. Emotional abuse, because there's more. Abuse isn't just physical. This guy never hit me. But we don't know that because nobody has these conversations with us about what makes a healthy relationship versus an unhealthy relationship. So we're in these relationships confused. Well, is he allowed to do this? Well, if he lied about this, but he forgave me, is that okay? That's why we have these questions. So an emotional abuse can be more difficult to recognize than physical violence, though it can be just as damaging. Just so you know, it's very damaging. Common displays of psychological abuse include verbal assaults and demeaning comments, isolation, like isolating you, telling you who you can and cannot hang out with, or making you feel bad for going out with your girlfriends. They're exuding to you that they want to control you. Do you want to be a woman who is in a relationship where the man controls you? Do you want to be the woman who is in a relationship who has to continue to prove that you love him? And listen, my ex did say a few, well, okay, I was going to say he didn't, but he did say a few times, if you love me, you'll do this. But I overwhelmingly felt like I had to do these things for him, to him, whatever, to make him feel loved when I wasn't getting anything in return. Because I thought, well, if I could just love him long enough, hard enough, he'll change for me. It's the Beauty and the Beast story, right? Where Belle was like, well, all I have to do is do these X, Y, and Z, and he gonna turn into this prince for me. That's what Beauty and the Beast taught us. I mean, I think the talking pots literally told Belle, there is just a prince in there waiting for somebody to help him come out. And so now we feel the duty to help this man become a prince. Mm-mm. Be careful of the duty you feel. Be careful of that. Leave the changing of men up to God, okay? So let's get into another example. Is this still resonating? Are you with me? Are you with me? Mindy, I see you. Yes. Heaven, are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Am I dropping gems for you? Do you feel like this is resonating? Do you feel like your mind is shifting? Do you feel like you're getting a new perspective? Because if you're not, then I need to scratch everything I wrote down and start all over. But I feel like you are. You're my people. Okay. I'm going to take a drink. Cena, I was going to check on you today, girl. And I know there's a delay on Facebook. Okay, good. You're with me. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, here's some other things. All right. So we're talking about this quote. A man doesn't have to lie to you to be with you. If you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. Here's the thing. Women, we love to hear, oh my God, I love you. That 3-word phrase. Just because he said, I had to learn this. I used to think, old Rika, between 2015 and 2017, I used to think when a man says he loves me, that he meant it. Well, he says he loves me, so he must mean it. Who says they love somebody and they don't mean it? People, every day, B. Every day, B. Every day. Okay? People lie every day. Dr. Phil also says that people lie between 8 to 200 times a day. What? I mean, and that makes you look at yourself too. What are you lying about? 8 to 200 times a day. My God. Now listen, now there are lies that, I'm throwing somebody a surprise party. There's lies for protection. What was the quote that I gave you earlier? Let me scroll up here on my notes. So Dr. Phil says that men lie. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. If you're just tuning in, I want to give you this. Where the heck? Okay. Men lie 8 times more than women about themselves. Women lie to protect themselves. Think about that. We're out here dating these men who are lying about themselves. And that is why you should, in my opinion, only date men who are doing the work. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so I got this question from a girl who slid into my DM. She said, okay, Rika, so I saw him messaging. I've been dating this guy for a month or two. I saw him messaging another girl, and I feel like he got excited talking to her. And I asked him about it, and he said it was nothing, but I feel like it was. So what should I do? He says he loves me and he wants to be with me. So listen, I stay away from giving advice. I'm not here to make you mimic me. Oh, be like me. This is what I would do. No, I'm here to get you to think how I think. You see, he didn't even, if a man doesn't have to lie to you to be with you. If you like him enough, you'll lie to yourself. See, he's in my opinion, this is so of course he's not going to say, listen, I'm not lying to you when he knows he is, because that's a lie, right? He's just going to say, oh, that means nothing, which is a lie. But you'll fall for it because he said, I love you, and you really like him. So you'll just be like, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to bypass my gut feeling because you are telling me you love me, and people don't lie about loving people. So here we are. I want you to stop this. Leaning into the idea of innocent until proven guilty, I want you to stop that. I want you to be walking around here, everybody guilty. Stop believing in the good in men over your gut. And it should be data collecting anyway. But the problem is, and the reality is, and this is not to throw anybody in the bus, but you meet a guy, your vagina is telling you he's the one, you start having sex immediately, and now your heart's all in it, and that's how you get effed up. Because if you weren't so attached to this guy, it would be so quick and easy for you to be like, okay, well, he lied about having a kid, so come on now. Okay, well, I literally saw him get excited when that other girl texted him, so come on now. Dating should be data collecting. Who are these people? And I'm not asking you to look for perfection, but the striving for is sexy. You got to be working on yourself, and he got to be working on himself. And that is my dog barking. Okay, so, okay. And again, there's no judgment. We've all broken our rules for someone, right? This is why I'm speaking on this, because I know where you are, because I was you. But I haven't looked back since 2017. We're not playing that game no more. Because my question to you is, how miserable are you willing to be just to be in a relationship? And if you want to stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships, you've got to listen to your God voice, your gut, your initial reaction when a man tells you something. Question that. Like, okay, well, why do I feel that way? Let me collect some data. Because the Bible says you will know my people by their fruits. And yes, I'm a Christian. Not religious, though. Okay, I don't. The Bible also talks about guarding your heart. The Bible also says bad company corrupts good character. Lean into that. Lean into that. What does that mean? And I'm talking about building a fence, not walls, not brick walls, not being bitter. I asked on Facebook the other day, do you want to be bitter or healed? And I was very saddened to see one girl say bitter. That's not good for you, not good for your insides, not good for your soul. That causes cancer, anxiety, depression, all of that. Get over it and heal yourself and learn how to get better at detecting. Okay, those are my dogs. All right, was this helpful? And I know I saw a question. The best you network. How do you know they're doing the work? By the quality of questions you ask him. You got to be a detective and really want to get to know this man. Bypass the fact that your vagina is telling you, oh my God, girl, he fine. And really get to know him. It's like I feel like sometimes friendships, we try to get to know them at a deeper level than we do a man we're trying to sleep with and date. Like your best friend, your best girlfriend, do you know her? And honestly, if you don't, that does let me know how your relationships with men are going. Because I know my best friend. How do you identify a man of integrity? Yeah, time. By the quality of questions you ask him. Okay. So let me tell you about a client of mine inside of Single You Academy. Okay. Can you relate to her? This is her before, like when she met me and the conversations that we were having. And I summed it up because it's obviously a lot deeper and a lot longer than this because I work with my clients for 12 to 16 weeks. But she said, before I met you, Rika, my friends offered, me moral support, which is excellent, but they don't have the experience you do to tell me what I need to do. They don't give me steps, you do. I'm sick of not knowing who I am, and I'm sick of the same old type of relationships when it comes to men. I needed your help. So what is she saying? Your friends, of course, you're going to ask your friends for advice. They're going to offer moral support and all of that. But let me ask you this. Has that ever stopped you from being in a dysfunctional relationship? Their advice. They mean well, but ain't none of your friends studied relationships. What do I mean by studied? Well, here's the thing. If you want to be a doctor, what do? You got to go to school for that, right? So where do you go if you want to be in love? Where do you go if you want to figure out who you are and your boundaries? Where do you go if you want to change your behavior? Because changed behavior is the only way you're going to stop dysfunctional relationships. And changed behavior comes from a changed mindset. Be transformed by the renewal. In fact, your friends are probably struggling just like you when it comes to men, right? You guys, that's what y'all talk about. Oh my God, I can't believe he did this and da 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 da. Can y'all hear my dogs? All right, so here is what she said as we were working together inside of Single You Academy. She said, listen, Rika, I have become so self-aware. That's the biggest thing for me because I cannot believe all of the light bulbs and things that are making sense. And I'm like, why hasn't that made sense before now? Like before you and before Single You Academy. So right now in this moment, just becoming super self-aware is probably the biggest thing for me. And that's beautiful. She got that transformation inside of Single You Academy. Here's a case study, okay? So if I asked you, how are you wanting to stop the cycle of dysfunction, or sorry, are you wanting to stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships? Type yes or no in the comment. Are you wanting to stop that cycle of dysfunctional relationships? Type yes or no in the comments. David, you better give them the word. I know, right? Listen, I think my Single You Academy is all about, the way I think is all about biblical principles. And it ain't that religious biblical principles. Because I grew up in the church, and let me tell you something. Church will have you thinking that being a single woman is the worst thing you could do on this planet, and that the goal in life is to get married and to be in hell. That's not what I teach. As a coach, I'm here to hold you accountable to the things that you say that you want. So if you want to stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships, I'm here to hold you accountable for that. inside of Single You Academy. So I see a couple of yeses, great. So my next question to you is, do you know who you are? Yes, no, working on it. Do you actually know who you are outside of my favorite color is blue? You got to go deeper with this. Otherwise, you're going to continue to be in this cycle. Because if you don't know who you are, if you don't know how to define who you are, if you don't know how to define and get the things that you want, society is going to tell you how to do it. And men. And how well has that been working out for you? Not very well. That's why you're here. You're probably here because the video ad that I had with the water, and that resonated with you. And you're like, this is not working. I need to hear what Rika has to say. So I love that. So I see a couple of no's, and I'm working on it. How are you working on it? What I hear from people is, a therapist, counseling. I've heard this from my clients before. And they're like, but there's still a disconnect. And I'm going to tell you why. So think about that. How are you working on it? You can type it in the comments. But I assume you're going to say, well, I've been journaling, reading, watching Oprah, therapist. But if you're here, that means there's a disconnect between you doing that work and then actually changing your behavior, right? And actually getting the thing that you say that you want, which is not being in a dysfunctional relationship. There's a disconnect. Yes? Because I truly believe if there wasn't a disconnect, why are you here? Why did you sign up for this masterclass, which is titled My Key Strategies to Stopping a Dysfunctional Relationships? You still have questions. And listen, it's a journey. You're always going to be doing the work, but you can get to a point where you're like, yeah, I haven't touched that in a minute. I haven't been in a dysfunctional relationship in a minute. You can get to that point where you're like, yo, I'm just happy, easy breezy, happily single. If he come, he come. If he don't, oh well. That's where I'm at. Just like, if God wants to provide me a husband, great. But what I will not do is try to force my way into a relationship ever again. Because my old thought process was like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. Women get married and have kids. That's the goal in life. Mm-mm. That's not the goal. The goal in life is to be as happy and as healthy as possible, but they're not going to tell you that. Or they'll say that. In fact, how many of you have heard from either your mom or just on TV or something like, I don't want you to be the kind of woman I was. I don't want you to have to go through the things that I went through. Drake even has a song, Know Yourself, Know Your Worth. But ain't nobody handing out steps for you to do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Heaven said, as I told you yesterday, I've tried many routes. And yes, I feel I don't hold myself accountable for when I break my own rules. Like I don't really know my own worth, even though I like to think I do. Yeah, yeah. Heaven, and as you heard me say, there's a difference between thinking you know your worth and actually exuding that behavior. There's a difference, right? So I want to introduce you to Single You Academy. Oh, hey, Kristen. Yes, I love that you love listening to me. I love that. That makes me smile. Okay, so I want to introduce you to Single You Academy, okay, which is my online coaching program. It's a group coaching program. And of course, like I said, it's called Single You Academy. I'm just scrolling up here, okay? And it's an intensive 16-week inner work program focused on growth for the professional single woman. I say single moms all the time because most of my 90% of my clients are single moms, but I get it because they're in that cycle with their baby daddy, right? So I coach the professional single woman in her 30s and 40s who want to stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships with men without the overwhelm of feeling mean for saying no. My clients are women who are ready to discover their worth and learn how to set boundaries. Single You Academy, the application process is open right now. And the doors will close June 11th. And so what I mean by the application process is that you have to apply to Single You Academy, because I want to make sure that you understand what it is. I understand what you need, and I believe I can deliver that promise. And so how do you apply? Send me a DM. You can type I'm in the comments, but send me a DM so I can get you the information about Single You Academy. You can read over, you can fill out the application form, and then we'll get on a call. So Single You Academy is for you if you feel like, yo, like I got my career together, my finances a little bit, I can take care of myself, I believe I'm a good woman, but I keep getting into this cycle of dysfunctional relationships and I am overwhelmed. Like, this cannot be life. I remember I used to think, like, when I was in that relationship for 2 years, like, this cannot, like, what is this? Heaven, I love it. I love that you're in. So what I'll do after I'm done, and I'm about to close this up in 5 minutes, is I'll either send you a DM or you send me one first, okay? I would love to talk to you. But there was so much confusion in that relationship. And so what I would tell you right now, if you're confused, leave. And that's why I say I coach single women. I don't coach married women because I'm not messing with God's marriages and all that. I'll send you to somebody else. I know a marriage coach, but I don't. Unless you feel like that relationship is over, because I will say I do have a client who's separated and it wasn't about him. So here's the thing. This is not a dating program. I'm not going to be like, this is how you date. You wear your pink shirt on Tuesday. On Wednesdays, we wear pink and drink mimosas and the guy will come. And it's not about manifesting the guy. We don't, I make you look at you. So if you don't want to look at you, I'm not the coach for you. My clients be like, Rika, you made me ugly cry. Yep. Because if working on yourself doesn't bring up feelings for you that make you super emotional, then you're not doing the work. That's what I did when I went on that solo trip to Mexico. I was looking at myself in the ocean, just looking at my face like, why did I do that? I had to forgive the woman that I was in that relationship, because I wasn't the woman I thought I was. And I was like, how though? And here's the thing, this is not your fault. Who has a conversation with you about what makes a healthy relationship versus an unhealthy relationship? What is healthy hard, healthy compromise versus toxic and dysfunctional? There's a difference. There's a difference between my ex making me, because nobody can make you do anything, but making me give away my Michael Kors purses because he felt that if you do that, that means you love me. How dare you have a purse that an ex gave you? What? How am I this woman arguing about what I can keep and not keep? I will never be that woman again. That is so corny. I don't want a corny relationship. Heaven, I feel like I'm making great progress. I'm still hung up emotionally on the attachment of the toxic. Yeah, I understand. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Yep. Up was down and down was up. Some days, others opposite. Yeah, I hear you, Kristen. Yeah. The best, do you coach coaches? I have a similar message. Send me a DM. I need to know what you mean. I feel like I know what you mean, but let's talk about that, okay? Yeah, send me a DM. Let's talk. On Instagram, you'll have to send me a DM, because even if you comment I'm in, I won't see it. Like, because once the video's over, it's over. So make sure you send me a DM and we'll go ahead and close out right now. I'll be on live again tomorrow with another topic. All of that information, because it's slipping my mind right now what the topic is, send me a DM and I'll send you the information for tomorrow, because it'll be a different time tomorrow, I believe. But other than that, if you want to apply for Single You Academy, let's get that application process started now. The doors close June 11th. I hope I'm saying the right date, Lord Jesus. It's either June 4th or June 11th. Okay, so we just get in now. Okay, I'm just listen. I gotta go take my dogs to get a bath. So anyway, send me a DM. Send me a DM. Send me a DM. Do not hesitate. My DM is open to you. It is open to you. I don't want you to think like it's gonna be so weird. I don't know her. Yes, you do. This is my face. You know me. Let's talk. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk soon. Bye. Bye.